The World Cup is around the corner, and more than 100 players have qualified, all to participate in Fortnite's $1 million prize pool tourney. The hype is real. So today, we're going to be reviewing the top 10 underrated players who've qualified for the World Cup. These guys don't get all the attention they deserve, so we're going to shine some light on the lesser-known heroes of the Fortnite community. Coming in at number 10, we have Slaya. This superstar from Oceania isn't an average player who just emerged in the World Cup and qualified. He's a longtime OG pro player. He's been grinding since the start. He placed first in both the Lux Cup and Week 1 of the World Cup solos. In the following weeks, he hammered out some very impressive placements, showing he's got what it takes to be called one of the top players. We all know how easy it is to call yourself a pro, but it's something entirely different to actually achieve placement. He's fast, quick, and is a great decision maker. This clip outlines his potential as one of Oceania's finest. We can't wait to see how he fares against the North American and European pros. Many people know of Psalm, but it seems that not a lot of Fortnite fans really pay him too much attention. He's severely underrated despite being one of Fortnite's most intelligent players. I remember that crazy moment at the Winter Royale when he killed it in the semifinals with the Infinity Blade. Here's a clip.
Psalm now with 4 eliminations.
Oh my god, dude. Poach isn't gonna get top 10. Poach just died. Oh my god, Poach.
He's just breaking it up though. He's not even really fighting players. Oh, this player's gonna get it.
Oh, poor
it is.
Oh, that was Predator. No, you're not the Predator, bud. He is. Psalm is the Predator. Another one's going to be right in front of him. Some defense coming through here, but what are you going to be able to do? Just cutting through the structures, and Uzi falls to the Infinity Blade.
There it is. See, he's looking to break the structures that are connecting these high ground players so he can pick up more elims too from the fall damage.
Gonna get another one here. He's gonna be trapped inside of the storm, though.
Doesn't matter. He can choose
oh my god!
He wants to be right now.
Gets another elimination. He's on a killing spree. Oh my word! He has picked up 8 eliminations, 10 eliminations.
He's a god!
This is actually terrifying, yet kind of exciting at the same time. But what can we expect? Epic is notorious for adding game-breaking items days before tournaments. Aside from his impressive career, he's actually one of the oldest qualifiers at 24. Ronnie from the Fortnite stats page tweeted this: the average player age for the Fortnite solo finals is 17.03 years. The youngest players to participate are King, Nyx FPS, and Light20, and they're all 13. The oldest people to participate are Rux26 and Psalm, both being 24. That's actually insane if you really think about it. Most players qualifying are still minors. Nobody would have thought such a thing possible before Fortnite. Anyways, Psalm is a player with a sharp mind. There's no other way to describe him. He's showing us time and time again that he has what it takes to qualify for tournaments. He's for sure one of the players that I will have my eye on in the World Cup. What do you guys think? Now, what do we know about this guy? We know he went by the nickname Unknown X Army before joining the infamous Kungarna, and he's qualified twice for the World Cup. Now, as a controller player, that's impressive. Why, you may ask? Well, according to recent statistics, only 8 qualifiers were controller players out of over 100. That's an awfully low number. In weeks 3 and 9, he's shown us not only his ability to compete with the pros, but to actually destroy them. All the while, on controller. Unknown has risen above the keyboard and mouse versus controller controversy and become a hero and role model to console players around the world. Despite being at a disadvantage, he's able to utilize the best of his abilities. What's so unique about his gameplay is that he plays the end game out very intelligently. He's known for aggressive third party, and that's where he scores most of his kills. This style of play ensures that he has enough points to come out on top. He makes sure to go for kills when they matter most, making him extremely dominant in the pro scene. Number 7 is none other than Epic Whale, a North American West World Cup qualifier who before this video you probably never even heard of, but we gotta show why he's underrated, right? What makes him different? Well, first off, not only did he double qualify, which not even the GOAT Tfue didn't even manage to do, but he did so under very rigorous circumstances. NA West only had 2 spots for the World Cup for duos, while NA East had 6 spots. Imagine the pressure. His gameplay is a combination of smart plays mixed with quick decision making. Although he possesses the mechanical skill to play aggressively, he chooses to keep it at bay, which in turn rewards him with crazy placements. We're itching to see how he fares in the World Cup. On to our number 6, we have WBG Rux. WBG Rux is well known in the competitive community, but casual viewers might have never heard of him before now. World's Best is known for hosting some of NA West's top players like Ranger, Rux, and Pika, 2 of which have qualified. That includes Rux, of course. While being a talented player, he's still relatively unknown when it comes to streaming, but he started gaming since the age of 12. He became a pro League of Legends player, and now he's taken his skills to competitive Fortnite. When we look at qualification spots, he's got plenty of evidence to back himself up. He qualified once for the World Cup solos and got insanely close for duos as well. In fact, 3 weeks in a row, he missed the placement by 1 slot. Imagine that! We all would have hoped he qualified, considering he showed an alpha performance during those qualifying weeks. Now, number 5 is even more unknown than Epic Whale. He started playing competitively a while back, but only recently started showing signs of domination. We don't know much about this guy, only that he's qualified both in duos and solos for the Fortnite World Cup. But his success is more than meets the eye. He stated in an interview, and I quote, "Knowing there was only 1 spot for duos was really intimidating at first, but we didn't focus on getting first. Falconer and I set a goal to get 100 points in the qualifier finals. We knew if we got 100 points that we would qualify, and that's what we aimed for. But we just played our game, played consistently, and didn't tilt." So like we discussed in previous videos, the mindset is an important factor of his success. I mean, how many times do we have to mention mentality is literally the deciding factor? Most of these players competing are mechanically skilled, so obviously that alone isn't going to give them the winning ticket. We have our eye on Arcram 1X and cannot wait to see how he does in the finals. Alrighty, coming in at number 4, we have Cypher and Dredda. Now, I've always had an eye out for young talent, and when I tell you that Cypher and Dredda is one of those prodigies, be on the lookout. The 14-year-old Norwegian boy has swung in and qualified one of the last weeks, coming in first place. By now, you guys may be wondering, aren't most of Fortnite's qualifiers young? And yeah, it's true that it's not surprising that another young player qualified, considering most of the players that are going to the World Cup are minors. But that's not what gives him one of the top spots. He has something really special about him. He's able to stay completely calm in almost any circumstance. Check out this insane clip which demonstrates that. I personally would have panicked and gotten blasted back to the lobby. When we take a look at his previous qualification stats, he hasn't gotten any impressive performances aside from 1 qualification spot. He's only come up on week 9, taking first place. He's a very quick decision maker and combines that with his mechanical skill. Just from watching him, I can already tell that this guy's got talent. Coming in at spot number 3, we have Sen Aspect. Aspect has a reputation for being immensely good at the game. Even before qualifying for the World Cup qualifier, he's shown astonishingly consistent performance among top-tier pros. He's been an incredible force in the Fortnite scrim community since the start and is very well respected. It's incredibly surprising him and his teammate Animal didn't qualify for the World Cup as a duo. Coming into the World Cup, if you asked anybody who was going to qualify, they would have answered them for sure. They placed first in the World Cup Lux Cup and the World Cup warm-up. After that, they placed top 25 nearly every week among thousands of other pro players. Just imagine for a second maintaining consistent landing, good rotations, and endgames. But this isn't too hard of a feat if you're as good as Aspect. Aspect is a mechanically skilled player who boasts incredibly good game sense. He's able to outplay even the best with simple but effective strategies. Some of his gameplay revolves around blazing fast maneuvers, designed so that his enemy is unable to keep up with him. He's one of the others we have our eye on for the World Cup. Now this player might not have been anticipated, but for number 2, we have Clarity G. Many of you may or may not know him, but I assure you guys, he's a one-of-a-kind player. This dude's been in the competitive scene since before the Winter Royale, and has placed very firmly throughout many events such as the Winter Royale Finals, Secret Skirmish, and very recently first place for the World Cup solo qualifiers. The man's an absolute genius when it comes to looting and rotations, and has the game mechanics in his back pocket. Clarity is a very passive player, and while it may seem that he's not the very aggressive type, he certainly knows how to kill when he needs to. But his key feat is that he knows how to avoid situations which would otherwise ruin his game. This is indeed a very valuable tool, because even if you're able to overcome the enemy, why take the risk? I keep telling you guys, making smart decisions is what either secures your spot or sends you back to the lobby. Now, I'm sure by this point you guys are all waiting patiently to see who gets this spot, and although this isn't a competition, Skite takes it. Skite has been a Fortnite legend ever since he hit the tables. With a black belt in Fortnite and 5 first-place tournament wins, his reputation can hardly be challenged. One skill which I think sets Skite apart is his ability to stay incredibly focused in the toughest of situations. The man's not only emerged victorious from really clutch scenarios, but he's proven that despite all the negativity, he finds some way to overcome it all. That's a mindset that we can all learn from. It takes a very special type of player to score high in an online World Cup qualifier while dozens of bloodthirsty players are lurking. And not only that, but he plays in the EU region. Many people think EU is harder than NA. What do you guys think? Which region is the best? Let us know in the comments below. Skite likes to go for the most outlandish and lightning-fast plays, and that's why his gameplay is so effective at the pro level. Players can only anticipate so much. Skite always seems to be holding all the right cards, and that's what makes him a formidable opponent. So, what do you guys think of this list? Did you guys think that there were other underrated pros that we didn't mention? Let us know, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell to stay updated on all of our videos.